Most remodeling projects usually look good on the outside when they are all done, and this home was no exception with the new LP Smart siding that was installed. But it's often what you don't see during the construction process that's really important. So let's catch up with our contractor, Andy Lindis, to see how this old farmhouse was repaired and prepped for the new siding. You know, Andy, our camera crew was up here during the demolition process, and what amazed me was all the different substrates that they encountered, all the different boards, the OSB, modern, old. And is it fair to say when you're going through the demolition, but more importantly on the preparation for the new product, you want to have a nice smooth plane?
Absolutely. You know, this is a house that has been remodeled a couple different times throughout its 100-year existence.
To say the least.
Yeah. So you have OSB here, you have the old oak boards, 1x6s, 1x8s. I think there's a variety of them on that house. And one of the biggest things that we wanted to accomplish on this project was trying to make the newer addition match the old Foursquare, so everything can marry together and look the same. So making sure that those underlayments all line up and we have a nice smooth surface when we get to the inside corners on this house was important. So a little bit of executive think power went into it on the front end. We're able to make it match nice, and I don't think you would actually be able to come here and look at it and say that was newer than that part.
Well, Andy, once the estimation process is completed and you get into the project itself, I want to know more about the communication stream and how the homeowner's involved. And do you have a foreman on site, a project coordinator? Because as a homeowner with a major project being done in my house, I kind of want to be in the loop.
We're going to have one person in our office, a project coordinator, that's going to be with the whole project from start to finish. Now, every one of our divisions has a lead person on the job site and somebody back at the office that runs those crews. So a lot of communication. Fortunately, with our new customer relationship management software, everything's married together. Everybody's seeing every step of the process. So the scheduling and the timelines have really starting to shrink down. But on this actual particular job site, one guy in charge at all times.
Sure, and then if you encounter some rot or an issue that was unforeseen, the homeowner, you can go and actually show it to them, right? Because I remember this window here had a lot of rot underneath it.
It did. And now, with technology being that it is, we're able to take some pictures, put a little words on this customer database. Everybody that's involved with the project automatically gets an alert that lets them know. The homeowner can receive a text even if they want to see the different stages of their project. So communication has really become much easier on our part, and we're able to see exactly what's going on real time on every one of the projects that we're working on.
Sure, I know if I'm a homeowner going through a process or entering a project like this, that's one of the questions I'm going to be asking my contractor is, how advanced is your company? There's a lot of new technology that can make a project like this go smoother and get the results that I want. Now, back to the rot underneath here. There was quite a bit, as I recall, wasn't it?
There was. And rot is something that we're inevitably going to find on a 100-year-old home. We had some figured in. There ended up being more than even we anticipated. But we were able to make some changes on the fly, let the homeowners know immediately, and with the tools that we have and the materials that we always have on the job site, it didn't really delay us all that much.
Sure. Now, why was there so much rot underneath here?
None of these windows really were flashed properly. So almost underneath every window, there was some rot repair that needed to happen. This one particularly was bad, which was a worry to us because we wanted to save this original window that had the old leaded glass. We knew we were going to replace it. And if you see here, this is a new Season Guard deadlight picture window that's in here, and we're able to take the leaded glass and install that on the inside of the house. So not only does the exterior look original, the inside remains the same. It's the original oak woodwork that's in there, and we're able to match everything up, stain it all to match, and so it really turned out awesome. The homeowner's tickled with it.
Oh, I bet. This is a 4-generation home that's probably an integral aspect of the interior decor. Leaded glass from 100 years ago, yet I would venture to guess this is 100 times more energy efficient, and you were able to have it aesthetically look original.
Yeah, it gets really emotional when you start to think about this is something my great-great-grandfather had put into this house, and I want to keep it here. What do I need to do to keep it here? And when you see how much rot was happening, this window could have fallen out and been damaged at any time. So to be able to save that, put it back to its original period as far as it looks, was a big deal for us.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It does.
And back to the rot here, I'm always amazed at your experienced carpenters that it's second nature to them. They're like, no big deal, we'll get it. And they don't take out the whole wall. They take out what is needed, and then they have the right tools to make, if they need a special board plane down, they have all the tools with them.
siding guys, decking guys, window guys, they're all carpenters by trade. And they have to be. You're in the remodeling business, you're going to run into stuff like this on almost every job. So if you look in our vans or the trailers that the guys pull, there could be a table saw in there, a couple of different types of miter boxes, every nail gun you could think of. There's going to be different types of building materials that hopefully we'll have enough on site to be able to fix everything. They're going to be having planers out there. So we have all the tools to do everything that we have at the job site, because we know delaying a project like this for 2 days while you run around and get this tool from over here, or you got to go rent that tool from over there, and then you got to go find this building material from whoever. Having this stuff on site and having the forethought in order to make sure that we do just speeds up the process. When timelines are as important as they are to us, that's a big deal.
Yep, you want a contractor that can streamline the project and get it done properly, that's for sure. Now, once they have it prepped properly, I know the house wrap plays an important role, doesn't it?
They talked about maybe blowing in more insulation in the walls, but for the most part they had pretty decent insulation in the old 2x4 wall, so not a lot of space to actually put the insulation, but the insulation was there. We talked about putting foam on it, but that foam, you got to build out the wall and you got to build out the windows, and it's just a pain in the butt. The new R6 house wrap that we're able to put on, not only are we going to be able to seal it up tight and deal with any of the air infiltration problems that they've had in the past, it really is going to give them a good R value on the exterior of their home.
Now, first and foremost, a good house wrap, that is for air sealing, but it allows moisture to escape, is that correct?
Absolutely, and when you're using a product such as LP Smart Side, which is going to be nailed tight on the wall, or any of the cement boards, it's even more important with these cement boards. But our house wrap actually has a grid pattern built into it, so should moisture get behind the actual siding itself, which is possible, it's going to have a drainage plan and a way to get out. It's not just going to sit there and cause problems.
Okay, and so you want to make sure you have, again, an experienced contractor who understands the role of each of the components out there.
Yeah. Everything has to work together.
The Insultex house wrap that you use, I think that's what it was called, that actually has an R value, so some insulation value to the home, right?
I can tell you this, the homes that we've used it on, the homeowners know a dramatic difference. We get letters and testimonials on a weekly basis telling us how much more comfortable we've made their house, whether it's easier to cool in the summertime, it's much warmer in the wintertime, or it's a porch area that we did some insulation work to and air infiltration work to, that just say, I can actually use my whole house now in the wintertime. We hear stuff like that all the time, so I know I'm a big believer in our Insultex house wrap.
Well, seeing's believing, and just experiencing is believing. And if somebody out there is saying, oh, that stuff, how can it possibly work? Well, just ask the people who have actually used the product, and they've been living there for 50 years, and all of a sudden you put the product on and it works. That right there means the world to me.
Making the house more comfortable to the people that have been here forever is the ultimate goal. Not only is it going to be more aesthetically pleasing, air infiltration, a better R value, and no maintenance. So a lot of great things checked off the list here, all with one product.
Stick around. We'll continue with today's home remodeler after this message.